Hey everyone, today I would like to share with you my love of Marie Wallin knits and what patterns of hers that I have knit. Now, if that sounds like something you might be interested in, then please keep watching. Welcome everyone to my 4th episode of Knitting Like a Cave Woman. My name is Miriam and I'm coming to you from Southern Illinois in the United States. All right, let's get into it. So for many years, I had been seeing Marie Wallin patterns like in the Rowan magazines. And I would often wonder to myself, who knits her patterns? Are there people out there that just like maybe had like a master's in knitting, and were these like people just so advanced that they were just out of my league? And I never felt like I was there, like I was an accomplished knitter where I could knit one of those. And it wasn't until I think it was like 2017 when she released her book, her Shetland book. And I was like, I'm buying that book. I'm buying that book and I am going to knit something out of this book. And I'll admit, I was a little terrified. I was intimidated. I had never knit color work at that time. And I was like, I decided I would just go through the book. I would find something in here that obviously I really liked, and I was just going to go for it. And I came across the Fetlar scarf. And I thought to myself, well, what does this scarf entail? Okay, well, it's basically you cast on your stitches and you're knitting in the round. I thought, well, I could do that. And then basically you're just knitting a really long rectangle in the round, and then you seam up your sides. I thought, well, I could do that. And then you needed to basically take your iron and put a cloth over it and kind of steam press it flat. I know, well, I know how to iron. So the only thing that I was really lacking was to learn how to hold 2 colors of yarn, 1 in each hand. And for those of you who watched my very first episode, I talk about my internet issues and how I have like really slow internet. And so at that time, I really couldn't it was just so hard to get on the internet and just wait for, 25 minutes, a half an hour for even to watch something on YouTube. So I went to my local library, and someone had told me that there was a knit group that met there. I went there, I introduced myself. I said, is there anybody in this group who could teach me how to knit color work? And one little person raised their hand. And she said, if you show up here next week with your stuff, I will show you how to knit color work. And that's what I did. Now, as she was showing me how to hold the 2 colors, she said, I've always wanted to knit a Marie Wallin garment myself. She said, and I'll admit to you, I can show you how to knit with 2 hands, but I never did complete a Marie Wallin garment. So I thought, you know what? I'm not even going to let that deter me. I'm going to just continue. So I picked the Fetlar scarf, and here it is. I was so excited when I completed this scarf. I don't know, this really changed me. Now, what was it like? Did I just cast on and was I like knitting perfectly? No. I cast it on for this 3 times. The first time, all my stitches were just really tight and bunched up, and I ripped it out and I recast it on again, and it happened again. I was just knitting tight, and I could see everything just coming in, and I was like, I'm not going to be happy with this. So I ripped it out, and the third time I felt, I think I could do this. And I knit this entire scarf. It is so absolutely beautiful. I knit this with a Jameson Spindrift, which is what the pattern, what it called for. And I was like, I want the yarn that she knit with. I want the same colors. They were out of 2 colors that were in the original, and then I had to just substitute a different color. But I am super, super happy how this turned out. I find it, after I blocked it and after I got it wet, I thought it really softened up so much. And it has since been washed quite a few times. I wore this like every single time I was gonna like walk out of my house after the first time after I had knit this. There was like a day where there was never a day when I like walked out of my house and I wasn't wearing this, because it was just absolutely so beautiful. I was so proud that I finally had a Marie Wallin knit like in my collection. And one of the best things that happened was I was with my husband right after I had knit this, and I think just like a week had gone by, and we were at Barnes and Nobles. Like we stopped at Barnes and Nobles. We were out in the parking lot. We were just getting out of the car, and somebody was coming out of Barnes and Nobles, and they yelled through the parking lot. They were like, "Hey, is that a Marie Wallin knit?" And I said, "Yes, it is." She said, "Did you knit that?" I said, "Yes." She said, "It is gorgeous." And let me tell you, my husband said, "Oh my gosh, that's it. You're going to be like high for like the whole day." And I was like, yes, I am. Like, to get that kind of like, reassurance and like that compliment, like that did it for me. I was like, that's it. I have to knit another Marie Wallin knit. Another thing I noticed about this, that there's something about color work, or I don't know if it's color work, I don't know if it's Marie Wallin or her knits, but I could actually knit something that's like a cabled sweater, or like a solid sweater that just has all this like design and stuff in it, like patterns and stuff, and it never ever seems to get compliments from me. Like, if you could knit a gorgeous solid cream, and it's got all kinds of pearls and knit stitches all over the place, and I don't know, for some reason, like nobody ever notices that. But I could wear this. I could wear something Marie Wallin color work, and people who don't even know anything about knitting, they just like fall all over the place, like wanting to talk about your sweater, so there's just something about color work, and there definitely is something about wearing a Marie Wallin knit. So this was my first thing. I was just super, super excited about it. And then I did knit a second one of these, but I do not have it to show. I gave it to a friend of mine for Christmas many, many years ago, and I knit hers in just a whole bunch of different brighter colors, where this one was a little bit toned down. But this was exactly how it was in the book. So anyways, I'm just super excited. So then I went through the book, and I was like, okay, what is the next thing that I could knit here? And I decided I would knit, what is the name of this? Breid. The Breid sweater. And this is it. So once again, I was like, okay, what does this entail? Most of this is all just knit in the round. It starts from the bottom. It's just completely knit in the round. You stop underneath the armpits, and you knit up your sleeves, and each sleeve is just knitted the round. You connect it to the body right at the armpits, And then you just continue to knit in the round all the way to the neck. I thought, you know what? I could do that. I feel like I can hold 2 colors of yarn now. I'm going to go for it. And this was the sweater. Now, obviously, I changed all the colors because when I'm knitting, I want to make sure that I'm knitting in colors that I would wear, stuff that I feel suits me and my coloring. This was the sweater. I absolutely love it. And this was knit in the Jameson Spindrift. So beautiful. It fits very nice. I have no issues with the wool. I think the wool just gets really soft. The more you wash it, it just blocks out. I absolutely love everything about this sweater. I get so many compliments on it whenever I'm wearing it. And once again, I had 2 Marie Wallin knits in my collection. Marie Wallin also likes to put her seam, her beginning of the round, right in the center of the back. And this is my back. I felt like I was really mastering getting that seam to look flawless. There's sometimes when I go to put the sweater on and I have to like really stare at it for a while to figure out which is the front and which is the back. So that was it. I then had 2 sweaters in my collection. Then I decided that I would knit the same sweater again, Breid, because I just really wanted to just get this underneath my belt. And also I wanted to kind of push myself and challenge myself to see if I could pick out, you know, just really keep pushing myself to pick out my own colors. And I'm not saying that like, I think like people in Fair Isle, like when they're picking out their colors and stuff, I think that's just like years and years of just really getting good at it. And you have to start somewhere. So will I say I'm like an expert in picking out colors? No. I have a lot to learn yet, but it is so much fun. And this was my second Breid. I absolutely love it. I just had to, you know, follow the same pattern, same size. And also I'm doing my sleeves just if I remember right. No, I think the sleeves, actually, I think the sleeves ended up being just perfect. I think I was, yeah, that's right. For this one, they're just perfect. I didn't do them 3/4 length. And here's my seam in the back. It's right in the center. And I noticed some people on Ravelry, they like to throw the seam on the side, but I don't know. I was like, I'm going to just force myself to put the seam in the center of the back. So then I had 3 Marie Wallin knits underneath my belt. Then in 2019, Marie Wallin came up with her Gentle book. And I think this was for her, what does she call them? Her British breeds. This was all about her British breeds. And I noticed that I think that I could not find the British breeds. I mean, I could have gone like to her website, but I decided that I wanted to knit the Primrose, which is on the cover of this book. I mean, that's what got me into buying this book. And I thought, you know what? I'm just going to knit it in the Jameson and Smith yarn. I just didn't want to like, I think I was already like starting to collect a lot of those yarns. Like when I went to a yarn store and I saw that they would stock that, that's what I was kind of like starting to buy a lot of that yarn. And so I knew right away that I was going to knit my Primrose. So absolutely love the sweater, but I thought to myself, oh, I have to change the colors. Yeah, I just could not see me wearing, even though I'm wearing kind of like a pastel-y. I just don't normally like all these pastel-y colors. It just was not really calling to me, even though I just think the sweater is just amazingly gorgeous. So it's funny, I went into a yarn store that was in Paducah, Kentucky, and I had the picture with me, and I said, I'm going to pick out the colors for this. And by the way, I think the colors are like, I think there's like 17 different balls of color. And I noticed at the end, after I had knit the sweater, that I ended up with like a lot of balls that was like left over. So, and I'll get to that in a minute. But anyways, I decided I was going to pick out my own colors. And I remember the woman at the yarn store, she was like, oh, I don't know about that red. I don't know about the yellow that you picked out. And I was thinking to myself, okay, it's going to be okay. It's going to be for me. And like, I have to wear bright colors. So this is the Primrose. The colors might be a little too wild, but I absolutely love how this one turned out. And here's the seam in the back. So this was my first try with knitting a complete color work sweater, from all the way to the bottom, all the way to the top. And this one, I did mine in 3/4. I think it ended up just coming out to be like 3/4 length sleeves for me. I'm not sure. There were some issues as far as like the pattern in the book. There was a lot of stuff that was a little choppy to me. And how Marie Wallin writes her patterns out, I think there's a lot left to the imagination as far as she's maybe expecting people to know a lot about how to knit color work. And so for me, there was just like a lot of like, oh, I'm not sure what I'm doing. I had to like go and find people on YouTube and like just ask, everybody, everything that I could, all the information that I could get. But somehow I mustered my way through it. And I love my colors, even though the woman at the yarn store wasn't sure about my red and my yellow. And I was like, you know what? I'm from the Caribbean, and like we wear bright colors. We paint our houses bright colors. We like our people, all the colors. I mean, yeah. So it screams out Caribbean to me. It just does. So anyways, I love it. Absolutely love it. So then I just had so much fun knitting this that I decided I had to knit another one. And this time I played a little game. I had to drive all the way to Paducah, Kentucky, which is like an hour and 40 minutes away from my house. That was like the nearest yarn shop that carried the Jamison and Smith. And on the way driving there, I had no idea like what colors I was going to use, but I decided I would play a little game because I don't know, maybe there's just something about playing little games, and that's just what I do. On the drive there, it was in the fall, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to think about all the fall colors that I see driving to the yarn shop, and that's what I want my sweater to be, all the colors. I said, and then I'm only going to allow myself to pick 7 colors because her original sweater, I think there's like 17 different colors, and I ended up with so many balls of yarn that were left over. So I thought, no, this time I'm just going to pick 7 colors. I'm going to go into the yarn shop, and I'm only going to allow myself 15 minutes. I have 15 minutes to pick out my yarn, and none of this lollygagging and staying in the yarn shop for like an hour and a half trying to hem and haw over my colors. No, 15 minutes. So I set my timer on my phone, and I told the lady at the yarn shop, I'm like, okay, I don't mean to be rude or anything, but can you please like not talk to me for like 15 minutes? I have 15 minutes to like pick out my yarn. And she probably thought I was crazy. But anyways, this is what I picked out. These are all the colors that I saw when I was driving to the yarn shop. And I absolutely love, love, love how this one turned out. Oh, I also have something that I wanted to say too. Right when I had knit this one, I had started to acquire some other books on Fair Isle, and color work books. And I ran into this section in one of the books that talked about color dominance. And I was like, wait a minute, what the hell are they talking about? And I just kept reading, and I was like, no, don't tell me that I've been knitting color work all this time and I didn't even know what color dominance was. Okay, I went into a complete panic, and I ran upstairs, and I like got all my knits, and I was looking over my knits, and I thought to myself, okay, I still absolutely love my knits, but I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I did not even know that. Okay, so in case, for those of you who don't know what color dominance is, I did not, you know what, I'll show you an example. Let's just say you've got two colors. You've got black and white. Your colors don't necessarily, they don't like butt up right next to each other. One of the colors leans forward, and one of them will lean backwards. That's just how it is, because one hand is kind of doing something a little bit different than the right hand. So it's up to you to pick out which color you want to be more prominent, more like, up on top of the other color. So it's up to you. You could decide you're going to have the black one stand out, or you can want the black one to be more in the back and then the white one to be in the front. Okay, well, I had no idea about that, but I would wonder, like, there were times when I was knitting, if there was like one little stitch of a color, I always noticed that I could never get that little stitch to pop out. It always kind of sunk into the fabric. And that's because I was holding that color in the wrong hand. So basically, whatever color that you want to pop forward should be in your left hand. And if you can see right here in this row, the blue that goes around, if you could see how the blue kind of is sunken in. And what's standing out more is this like pinky purple color. So anyways, after I had realized, oh my goodness, I had knit all these things without even knowing about color dominance, I was like, oh my God, how can I live with myself? And then I thought to myself, okay, this is what I'm going to do. If I should ever go to Fair Isle, I'm not bringing any of these sweaters. But I thought, you know what? It's going to be quite okay to wear these in the United States. Nobody is going to know the difference. So after I figured that out, when I knit this sweater, I knew what color dominance was. And I was like, I felt when I knit this one that I was like, oh my gosh, I've got it going on. Like, I truly understood. You could see on this one, everything is just, every little color is popping out in just the right places. And yeah, I'm telling you, this sweater is really, really just a beauty. So I have just recently cast it on for a third Primrose, and I picked a whole bunch of like berry kind of colors, and then I decided I'm gonna go on to or I decided that I wanted to start learning how to steek. So you might be asking yourself, well, did I learn how to steek? Okay, well, that's going to be coming up in another video, because I did go on to steeking. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys today. I'm going to do a little banjo tune, and I'm going to cut this one short because my last video took me like 5 hours to upload because our internet is horrible. So I'm going to do a little banjo tune. I'm going to play A Satisfied Mind. It's one of my favorite tunes. I heard Gene Shepherd sing this years ago on the radio, and I was like, oh, that's such a beautiful, beautiful tune. So this is A Satisfied Mind. How many times have you heard someone say, if I had his money, I'd do things my way. Little they know, so hard to find a rich man and 10 satisfied mind. Once I was winning fortune and fame, everything that I dreamed of, starting life's game. Suddenly it happened. Oh, I lost every dime, but I'm richer by far, satisfied mind. Money can't buy you youth when you're old, a friend when you're lonely, or love that's grown cold. The wealthiest person is a pauper at times, compared to the man with a satisfied mind. When my time has ended, my time has run out. My friends and my loved ones, oh, I'll leave them no doubt. One thing's for certain, when it comes my time, I leave this old world with a satisfied mind. I leave this old world with a satisfied mind. All right, everyone. Thanks for watching. If you could please like and subscribe or maybe share with someone, that would be wonderful. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Bye.